you know, in the world, we are building medical infrastructure in such a way that today all of us are expecting someday we will all be seriously ill. It need not be so. If you live with Narmada ji, it need not be so. And not just her, there are many others. It need not be so if you know how to manage the elements, if not all of them. It's very easy to bring water and air into your control. These are two elements which are easily accessible. If you do this combination well and little conscious about what you consume, you will never go to the doctor. There was a time, for the whole town there used to be one doctor and it was enough. Today every street has 5 doctors and it's not enough. This shows how we're living. When we forget how to live, when we do not respect what makes our life, the earth that we walk upon, air that we breathe, water that we drink, the very sky that holds us in place, when we have no respect and reverence for that, how they behave within us is very different. Today there is substantial scientific evidence to show that water has tremendous memory. If you just generate a thought looking at the water, the molecular structure of the water will change. Just a look, the molecular structure of the water will change. If you touch it, it will change. How you touch it is very important. So now for example, they're keeping it in a copper vessel with a flower on top of it, because this is the god. What other god? If you don't drink water for one day, this is the only god, no other god, isn't it? So, how you treat the water, the memory remains for a long period. So before we consume it or before it touches our body, how we treat the water changes the quality of everything in our system. This is a science we have always known, but today modern science has done enormous amount of experimentation on this. Now they're saying water is a liquid computer. The volume of memory and intelligence it carries by itself. It is a liquid computer, this is what they're saying, it's a fluid computer. We have always known this. What is called as tirth, why for one drop of water people go and stand in a temple, is because it has the memory of the divine. You want to take that into your system. If the deity is powerful and the water has touched the deity, it has the memory of the divine, you want that to enter your system. But being in a pure space like this, it's a blessing. There are certain ways with which you can be in the water. If one does that, every ailment, all chronic ailments will go. There are infectious diseases and chronic ailments. Infectious diseases are an invasion from outside. Other organisms are entering our body and troubling us. For this you need a doctor. You need warfare, you have to bomb them out. Chemical warfare is normally what we're doing. But over 70% of human ailments are self-help. We manufactured that within our system. This is simply because fundamentally, the way we are treating the elements within ourselves and around ourselves. The so-called modern life has absolutely no reverence to the substances which make our life. The life-making material is being treated badly and we're expecting it'll behave well within us and it will not. So being here at Narmada, it's time we bring back this culture because it's gone a full circle. Now modern science is insisting that water, the way you treat it is the way it's going to behave within you. And we must learn to treat it well. If we want to be healthy, if we want to be well, if we want to be successful, if we want to be prosperous, for all these things it's important the elements within you cooperate. If they don't cooperate, nothing will work. One simple thing you could do is how you treat the water, at least the water that you consume. I know today everybody is drinking water from plastic bottles. If you keep it in a metal vessel, particularly copper or copper alloy, the very nature of the water will change. And traditionally, I don't know if it's still maintained in this part of the country, but in southern India, even now it's pretty common in traditional homes, where every day there is a puja for the water vessel. They will put some vibhuti on it, some kumkum on it, and there's a small arati for the thing, because the water should… water has a enormous amount of memory. It remembers how you have treated and accordingly it'll behave. This is something very simple, everybody can start. And as a part of this in Tamil Nadu, we've been encouraging people to use copper vessels, pure copper vessels, because copper is such a… it's the best conducting metal and it energizes the water. Energizing, if you check the if you check the chemical composition, it'll not change. That is the beauty of it. It's only the molecular structure of the water that will change. You might have experienced this. Suppose you ever… is there a waterfall in Narmada anywhere? There's a waterfall. If the water is falling like, let's say, over 20-25 feet, and just after the waterfall, if you just touch the water, you will find water is silky for touch. Have you noticed this? Because water implodes within itself, the molecular structure changes, the way it feels is different. Today, they have created what is called as water imploding machines. You can implode the water with a machine, it just churns it in a certain way and implodes it. It has been found that if you use water imploding machines, with 10% of the water, you can grow the plants the same way as you're growing. The water consumption will come down. With 10% of water, the plants will yield the same, because the imploded water becomes silky and its ability to become a part of the plant system or tree is much, much better. So, if you're in agriculture, imploding machines can come. Some people have patented it in UK. We are trying to bring some machines and give this service to the local farmers in Tamil Nadu, so that people can use imploded water and their water consumption in the fields will come down dramatically, because how long you pump the water, electricity not being free these days, it gets very expensive for the farmer. If the amount of water he needs to pump on his field is much less, it'll make a big difference. For daily consumption, just a copper vessel, every day if you have something, if you light a lamp next to it, if necessary, just one flower, the very way the water behaves within you will change. And before you consume just one moment of gratitude and reverence, because this is the material with which you're making your life, not with some unknown god. This is the material that makes your life every moment. And how you treat it is very important. In your emotion, in your thought, if you hold water as… if you don't even have to think Devi stuff, you just understand the reality. The fact of it is, without it you cannot survive. Yes? Whatever is the basis of your survival, you bow down, isn't it? So the water, the food, just bringing that reverence, you will see the volume that you consume will also come down and the way it behaves within you will come down. If you don't catch an infection, if you treat these elements properly, as I said earlier, most probably you won't see a doctor's face unless you're one. You can incubate a lot of either negative things or positive things in sleep. This is getting too easy. Just sleeping sadhana. So coming awake to an alarm bell with a sudden start is not the best way to do your life. How many of you find that one day morning when you get up without any reason, you're just feeling ugly for no reason? If it is happening even at least 2-3 times a year, if it is, then you must do certain things before you go to bed. It's very, very important. Because unconsciously, you need to understand this, you can incubate a lot of either negative things or positive things in sleep. Either pleasantness or unpleasantness, you can incubate very effectively, uninterrupted in sleep. You can also incubate it in the day, but there are so many interruptions, it doesn't happen very efficiently. But if you have a tendency to go to bed in a certain way and you wake up in the morning really nasty for simply no reason, that means you're incubating things in the night very efficiently. Bad eggs. This is not just about psychological disturbances, it can cause major physiological problems over a period of time. It's important that you eliminate these things from your life. So, before you go to bed in the night, there are certain things that you need to take care of. It's best if you're eating meat and other kinds of meals, you eat at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to bed. The digestion is over. Before going to bed, drink a certain amount of water and go to bed. You will see it gets taken care of just like this. One simple thing can be just a shower. Always to shower before go to bed, it'll make a lot of difference. In this weather, maybe cold showers are difficult, so you go for lukewarm showers, don't go for hot showers in the night. Go for lukewarm showers, it makes you alert. So you will think, oh, I cannot sleep. It doesn't matter, you will sleep 15–20 minutes or half an hour later, but you will sleep better because it will take away certain things. When you shower, it is not just the dirt on the skin that you're taking away. Have you noticed if you're very tense and anxious, whatever, just a shower, you came out, it feels like almost the burden has been taken away from you? Have you not noticed this? So it's not just about washing the skin, a whole lot of things happen when water flows over your body. This shower is a very rudimentary buddhi shuddhi because over 70% of your body is actually water. If you run water over it, a certain purification happens, which is beyond cleaning the skin. One more thing if you want to do, you just light an organic oil lamp, a cotton wick, some oil, anything. What do you use here? Normal cooking oil. Linseed oil, rice bran oil or sesame oil, what do you have? Olive oil, fine. Any organic oil with a cotton wick, just burn one little lamp somewhere in the room where you sleep. You will see these things will completely disappear. If you can bring in a chant or there are nightly practices, yogic practices, before you go to bed, sit on your bed and do this practice. If you want to do Isha Kriya, it's available on the net. Generally, in India, they told you should not put your head to the north and sleep. You're aware of this? If you put your head to the north and sleep during the night when you're in horizontal positions, then slowly the blood will get pulled towards your brain. When there is too much circulation in the brain, you cannot sleep peacefully. If you have any kind of, inherently weak aspects in your brain, or if you're of old age, you could die in your sleep. One can have hemorrhage because extra blood is trying to enter the brain, where the blood vessels are hair-like. Something extra is being pushed because of the magnetic pull. When you're in a vertical position, this is not so. The moment you become horizontal, this pull on the head is so strong that slowly the blood tries to move towards the brain. So to avoid this is true only in the northern hemisphere. If you go to Australia, you should not put your head to the south. If you're in India, you should not put your head to the north. You can put it any other way, it's okay. Keep this in your mind, that you are truly a mortal, okay? Not in words, really. You could fall dead right now.
You may be young, you may be old, it doesn't matter, you can fall dead right now. Yes or no? Before you go to bed, sit on your bed and think this is your deathbed. You have just 1 more minute to live. Just look back and see, what you have done today, is it worthwhile? Just do this one simple exercise. And you don't know when it really happens, whether you'll be sitting on your deathbed or lying in a hospital, all kinds of things sticking into you. Who knows how it'll happen? But enjoy this every day, that you will sit on your deathbed, look back and see, today, the way I've handled these 24 hours, is it worthwhile? Because now I'm dying. If you do this, you will live a worthwhile life, believe me.
So every day in the night, all of you should do this before you go to bed. Last 3 minutes, everything that you have gathered, the body, the content of the mind, things, don't ignore small things, these small things are big things. I've seen how people are carrying their own private pillow, you know, because it's very important. So, your pillow, your footwear, if you have relationships, everything that you have gathered, keep it aside, sleep. If you sleep in that condition, you will wake up with much more light, with much more energy, with much more possibilities than you have imagined possible. Just sleep as life, not as a man, not as a woman, not as this and that. Keep everything down, simply. See, this is getting too easy. Just sleeping sadhana. At least this you must do. So what kind of sounds come awake to will determine the context of the day and the future of your life in many ways. So coming awake to an alarm bell with a certain start is not the best way to do your life. It is best that if you need a certain amount of sleep, if your body right now, because of the kind of food that you consume and the kind of thoughts and emotions that you process within yourself, accordingly you may… and the level of vibrance that you have managed within your body will determine how much sleep you need. Let us say you need let's say you need 8 or 12 hours of sleep. I was saying the wrong number Whatever amount of sleep you need, you know how much you need. So you go to bed early enough so that you come awake naturally. If you're coming awake naturally, and suppose you have a doubt whether you will come awake or not, if you have a certain chant, if you've identified one of the Vairagya chants, you can use it. Physiologically, one important aspect of you is your heart, the pumping station for your blood circulation, which pumps life across the body. If this one thing doesn't happen, nothing happens. This starts from left side. So we told you, in India they have told you, when you wake up, you must roll to your right side and get up. Have they? Left side, if you roll and get up, bad things will happen to you. Did they tell you? Bad things are not about that. When you're in a certain state of relaxation, when the body is in a relaxation, the metabolic activity is low. When you get up, there is a certain surge of activity. That's why they told you in India, see, all these things are built into your life which you're throwing away. The whole science of living has been built into your life. They told you in the morning before you wake up, you must rub your hands together and see like this. Not see like this, you must place it upon your eyes. You do this, you will see God. It's not about seeing God. If you rub these two things together, all the nerve endings, there's a heavy concentration of nerve endings in your hands. If you do this, the system comes awake immediately. You're feeling asleep, you're feeling sleepy, just do this and see. Everything comes awake. So morning before you move your body, you get it awake first and then place it upon your eyes, instantly a whole range of nerves connected with your eyes and the other aspect of your senses come awake. Before you move your body and your brain should be active. You shouldn't get up dumb, that's the idea. Understand? So you do that and then roll over to your right and get up. Today, if all of us go to bed, by tomorrow morning, nearly 250,000 people won't wake up. Natural death in the world. Suppose you wake up tomorrow, you guaranteed? Have you come with a guarantee card? No guarantee card. So suppose you wake up, let's say. Just do this much, I'm telling you, this is a simple first step to your spiritual process. Tomorrow morning, when you come awake, check, you really awake or you dead? If you're awake, it needs at least a little celebration. You don't have to get up and dance, at least you can smile, still on. 250,000 people died. They were like you and me, poof, they went off, isn't it? Wherever you look, they're not there. Here I am still, alive. One big smile, will you? I'm talking management. Then if 250,000 people died, at least 3 to 5 million people lost somebody who's dear to them. You check those 3, 4, 5 people who matter to you, all of them alive today. One more big smile. Hello? Will you or not? Alive. If suppose right now we put a gun to your head, will you think it's a relief? No. You'll be terrorized, isn't it? So that's how precious it is to be alive, isn't it so? That's how precious it is for you to be alive. So tomorrow morning, 250,000 people died overnight, but you're still alive. Does it not at least deserve a big smile, I'm asking you? And all the people who matter to you are all alive today. One more big smile?